Taylor Swift is planning to sue a 21-year-old college student named Jack Sweeney because he runs an account that tracks the movements of her private jets. She has 2 of them, by the way. This same kid got banned on X in late 2022 because he was doing the same thing to Elon Musk. And Elon thought that this threatened his safety because he was posting assassination coordinates of him.
Which is a little hyperbolic.
You're being a little melodramatic if that's what you think.
Maybe Elon Musk maybe it's more risky for Elon Musk than Taylor Swift. I don't know. But like the point is that the data posted is always going to be at least 24 hours out of date.
Right. Of the time it's on a 24-hour delay, and it doesn't post the exact coordinates.
Does this count as doxing?
No.
Does that count as doxing?
Because according to Jack Sweeney, who runs the account, this is all publicly available information anyway.
Yep.
It's not like he's going through some illegal means to find out the movements of her private jet. It's already all there.
He's just
posting it and making it more accessible.
Making it more accessible to people.
Yeah, so...
Look, it's like in this one, because he's a climate, I'm guessing that it's the climate activist agenda of all of it means that there are no winners here. I think everybody sucks.
I think that both Jack Sweeney, the climate activist, and Taylor Swift are drunk with power, both of them. This kid is 21. He's a student at the University of Central Florida, and I'm sure that he's adding this to his resume. I'm sure, because this is how he's making an impact as a climate activist. He just got a cease and desist letter from Taylor Swift's legal team saying they would have no choice but to pursue any and all legal remedies if he doesn't stop his, quote, stalking and harassing behavior. He says the accounts caused Swift and her family direct and irreparable harm, as well as emotional and physical distress because he heightened her constant state of fear for her physical safety.
Is it that, or is it that it's bad publicity for her to use her private jet all the time?
Well, he notes that the time when he received this letter back in December is when she was getting a heightened response over her CO2 emissions.
And what's funny about this is like her fans and climate activists, there's a whole lot of overlap on that Venn diagram there, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's more crazy, Swifties or climate activists?
Put them together and you have a deadly combination. We have a $20 one here from Dr. Tran. Says the FAA data is public. What he said was that his flight logs were personal data. Real talk? Question mark, he asks. Stop playing Dogecoin if you don't want to be a public figure.
What is playing Dogecoin mean?
I don't know if that's, I think that might be in reference to the Elon Musk part of it.
Oh, okay.
And then $20 one from Bucky Ducky says, the public info defense for doxing flight data is so bad. Your house info is publicly available. Anyone can watch who pulls out of your driveway and post it all online.
I mean, I wouldn't say that that's equally public information, right? Because that's happening on your private property, whereas the ground control information is already on the internet.
It's definitely not good things to have out there for somebody like Taylor Swift, who has had to deal with stalkers in the past and has had plenty of deranged people who want to get close to her. So perhaps it does fill her with a sense of dread. But given that the data is 24 hours in delay, I think that she's also more worried about her public image, personally.
Yeah, here was his own defense of his actions. He said, I think it's important to note that nowhere do I intend for harm. I actually think that Taylor Swift has some good songs. I believe in transparency and public information. And he added that
what if he offered
the letter was sent back when she was getting an increased amount of backlash for her private jet use. And here's another statement from her legal team. While this may be a game to you or an avenue that you will hope to earn your wealth and fame, it's a life or death matter for Taylor Swift. She added, there is no legitimate interest in or public need for this information other than to stalk, harass, and exert dominion and control.
I disagree with just about everything that was said here. I don't think he's doing it for wealth or fame. I think he's doing it because he actually is a climate activist, most likely, given that he's in college, right?
And I would say it's mixed.
But I also don't believe that that there's no interest for the information. I think there's actually a lot of interest for the information.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's even scarier. right? Like, it's like, I don't actually agree with their point, but it doesn't mean it's less scary. I think there's actually interest. There's interest for everything she does from fans and naysayers alike.
There is interest in her movements, in what cities she's arriving in, but there's also genuine interest in her environmental impact.
So if it's about the emissions, right? Would the better idea here if he could just tabulate the amount, but then not post the locations, would that be better?
I mean, I suppose, but I really don't think he has an obligation not to post the locations if it's already publicly available data. And when asked whether they knew of any evidence that stalkers had used the jet tracking accounts, a spokeswoman for Taylor Swift said, "We cannot comment on any ongoing police investigation, but we can confirm the timing of stalkers suggests a connection. His posts tell you exactly when and where she would be." And that's not true because of the 24-hour delay.
I think I would actually prefer they didn't post her locations and they just, like, if it's about the environmental aspect, I have no problem with tracking her emissions, though I think it's a stupid waste of your time, and I think that the whole thing is ridiculous. I kind of have more of a problem with actually posting her locations. But
that's already public data.
Again, make it harder for people to get to. Like, they talk about how stalkers used to use like the people finding services and like tracking apps and like social media to track people down. But would you want somebody publicly posting your profile for everybody if you keep your information private? Like, I just don't think it's necessary. But I'm also not going to shed tears for something like this because she's a celebrity, and unfortunately, the issues that you're gonna have to deal with as a celebrity just mean that you're gonna have to deal with a whole new class of crazy.
I think that Elon was also being way too dramatic about it, saying that this guy was trying to get him assassinated and using that to boot him off of the platform that's supposed to be a free speech platform, a public town square, when that clearly wasn't his intention and it didn't result in any public safety threats. And also, Jack Sweeney told the Post that he thought this cease and desist letter was being used as a scare tactic.
It is.
To save her public reputation. He said this information is already out there and her team thinks that they can control the world. And he said that private jet flights are routinely criticized for their disproportionately high impact on climate change. And his accounts have been used to name and shame famous passengers. It was also argued that this data doesn't exactly reflect the truth of her own impact because she loans out her private jets to other people often.
Like, if I'm being honest, like I wouldn't want people tracking my every move either. Like, I guess that's kind of the way I look at it. But again, you have to make that judgment call. Like, do I want all the benefits that come with being like if you're somebody who's found that level of success, that level of fame? Are you willing to put your personal safety at risk for the sake of the money, the success, the fame, all the good that comes with it, right? She's certainly taken the steps she needs to ensure her public safety. She has the Mossad IDF security, head of security and stuff like that. So I don't know, like, it's, to me, the carbon emissions are a hilarious side part of it, but I wouldn't want this stuff being left, put out there about me. I get that it's public information, but I don't know.
What would we say about paparazzi? What would we say about this guy who was dumpster diving outside of Taylor Swift's apartment? What would we say about the fact that she had AI porn made of her? It comes with the territory of being a public figure. So does people tracking your movements around the globe.
Tim Pool has thoughts on this. If you've ever heard of him, he's kind of a big deal. Says, I would insist on Taylor Swift doubling the global atmospheric carbon concentration. If it meant otherwise, she could not see Kelsey win the Super Bowl. These haters telling her not to fly private just don't want her to be happy.
So true. They hate to see her winning.
They just don't want to see her winning. It's just an interesting thing to see done, because it's just like, for most of us, it's just never going to be something we have to worry about, right? Like, we're just never going to have to worry about. I'm very lucky in that I will never have to be a public figure, so I will never have to worry about people caring about where I am at any given time, especially since where I am is either at work, at the grocery store, or at Sheetz to get food, and that's about it. So my life isn't interesting.
I don't know. I think that's a totally different. That's apples and oranges. Yeah. Basically, because Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift, and nothing about her life is private. At least that's what it seems to me.
It's also interesting because, like, there's plenty of celebrities that fly private. Like, there's plenty of them. What is it, Travis? Who's Travis Scott with? One of the Kardashians?
Oh, yeah,
Was he with Kylie?
with Kylie.
Okay,
yeah.
they both had
Or
private.
was.
Like, I remember they had a picture of, like,
Was.
both of them next to their separate private jets.
Yeah.
Track them.
I'm sure they also get hate for their emissions stuff, but I don't know. I think that he's annoying because he's a climate activist. Taylor Swift is annoying because she constantly plays the victim. It's clearly that he is trying to get wealth and fame, at least fame, because he started this when he was in high school.
Yeah.
He started the Elon jet tracker when he was a high school student. He clearly wants to get attention for this and become some kind of Greta Thunberg persona in the climate activist movement. And they're all really annoying and drunk with power.
And it's very hard for the average person to feel a lot of sympathy for a celebrity. It just is. Like, if they're like, look, you took the deal. You get the money, you get the fame, you get the bad stuff that comes with it. You're not going to see many people shedding tears for them. Actually, that's not true because she's got gazillions of fans who will shed tears for it. But you're not going to see an average person shed tears for her over this.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.